A$AP Rocky's future is on the line as he stands trial accused of firing a gun at his former friend during a 2021 showdown. While prosecutors build their case on a key witness and surveillance clips, the defense is arguing there are questionable motives behind the accusations. We're going to break all this down right now with acclaimed attorney Brad.
Attorney Brad remains tight-lipped, but rumors suggest that big names may be called upon to testify about A$AP Rocky's character. In entertainment circles, it's not unusual for high-profile figures to step in and vouch for a friend facing legal trouble. If these whispers prove true, some major celebrities could soon be weighing in on Rocky's behalf.
In this case will be that the man in the black sweatshirt was the defendant, Rakeem Myers. That evidence will be uncontradicted.
This case is all about money. You're going to see the only reason we're in this courtroom is because Rocky would not agree to be a victim of another.
Caught in the middle of it all, Rihanna now finds herself at the heart of the storm, grappling with the reality that A$AP Rocky's legal battle may be far tougher than expected. Reports indicate she is deeply distressed, with some sources claiming she is furious over the unexpected developments and the secrecy surrounding the situation. This begs the question, would Rihanna step up if asked? While the idea of her testifying may seem unlikely, fans aren't ruling it out. Given her close relationship with Rocky, her words could carry significant weight in shaping public and legal perceptions. However, stepping into the legal spotlight could bring intense scrutiny, something Rihanna has always been careful to avoid. Legal experts may advise both her and Rocky to maintain a low profile, ensuring that any public involvement doesn't add further complications to an already high-stakes case.
I never enjoyed the music business.
I heard that.
The politics, man, it's like, for me, man, everything that ever worked for me was unorthodox. Mm-hmm. They follow a certain formula, which is traditional, and, not knocking it. I just don't think that formula applies to this.
Especially with such a high-profile case, the risk of it being sensationalized by tabloids is high. Stepping into the legal spotlight could bring significant risks, making any public involvement a carefully weighed decision. That said, some insiders suggest that Rihanna may be privately supporting Rocky in more practical ways, providing resources, connecting him with strategic advisors, and leveraging her vast network of professionals, from public relations experts to legal consultants. Having faced her own share of controversies, Rihanna has learned how to navigate challenges and emerge stronger. If she is channeling her frustration into something constructive, she could be helping Rocky make calculated decisions on how to handle the situation wisely.
Determine whether or not to say, yeah, this is good evidence or bad evidence. That's number one for the state that really hurts them. Number two is,
this behind-the-scenes approach may not generate the same sensational headlines as a public outburst, but it could prove far more effective in the long run. Another factor to consider is how this turmoil impacts Rihanna's own mental well-being. With a packed schedule balancing her brand, fashion empire, philanthropic projects, potential music releases, and personal life, adding a high-profile legal battle involving someone she loves could be an emotional strain. Hollywood is filled with stories of talented individuals crumbling under constant speculation and pressure, yet Rihanna has always found creative ways to navigate stress. Whether it's through new designs, subtle messages hidden in social media posts, or even future musical projects, she's never been one to stay silent when she feels her voice can make an impact.
Whatever it is, and that helps you, right? And you might not be able to see all that. So number one is, I'm sure he has a jury consultant. Number two is, there's a lot of reports that say out of the 106 potential jurors, only 4 were African American. Now in LA County, in terms of the pool itself, in LA County, you have about a 10 or 11% of the population is African American. So it doesn't match the population of the county you're in. So that's kind of the argument, right? And you make that argument at the beginning of the case and you say, hey, listen, judge, we got to start all over again. We got to strike this whole panel. It doesn't represent the county. It doesn't represent the proper percentages. There's only 4 out of 106, and there should be 11 or 12 no one placed it there, that no one put fingerprints on it, that no one put DNA on it, that they didn't collect it from another area where they knew that individual might have DNA on it from, let's say, a gun range or something of that nature, and they collected it and they dropped it on the scene.
Been working on it for a while, and every day it just gets closer and closer to the finished product.
You're always in the press and stuff like that. It gets at whatever's left of you, whatever's real.
Rihanna has long been recognized as a powerhouse in the music industry, an icon who transcends any single genre. Since debuting as a teenager, she has consistently reinvented her sound, explored fashion, launched cutting-edge ventures, and built a global empire fueled by creativity and fearlessness. Whether she's redefining pop music with bold albums or orchestrating extravagant runway shows for her latest designs, Rihanna embodies an unwavering sense of self. Fans and commentators have followed her evolution with fascination, watching as the Barbadian singer, once known for her sweet Caribbean-tinged anthems, has grown into a visionary mogul whose influence extends far beyond music. Yet, despite her fierce persona and ability to remain calm under pressure, rumors are swirling that she may be reaching a breaking point over an ongoing legal battle involving her partner, AAP Rocky. For those unaware, Rihanna and AAP Rocky have been linked both personally and professionally for years. However, Rocky's legal troubles have reportedly become more complicated, with speculation that someone from within his own inner circle, possibly a longtime associate of AAP Mob, has provided damaging testimony in court. With official details still unclear, online gossip and speculation have taken over. Fans who once admired AAP Mob as a tight-knit, family-like crew are now struggling to reconcile the idea that internal tensions, misunderstandings, or hidden pressures may be at play.
That's why you need to establish a chain of custody. That's number one. That's the worst part of it. Most judges will argue, oh, the chain of custody is important, but it goes to the weight of the evidence, meaning they're not going to eliminate that evidence just because they don't establish a chain of custody, which I happen to disagree with. But they say it goes to the weight. The jury can still look at the evidence. So those are arguments to be made, and those might be preserved for appeal. And Joe has been to trial many, many times. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's been to battle, a lot of times. He knows what the appellate issues are. He knows what to raise. And I guarantee you he did raise that at some portion of the trial, might have been sidebar or something like that. But that it wasn't typical. It did not represent the county, that pool. So that's going to be interesting. I think the makeup of 7 men, of 7 women, 5 men, I think is also interesting. And it goes to the fact of whether or not you think women are a better selection than men. There's a lot that goes into that. And the women, depending on what the women answered to some of those questions. Sometimes in gun cases, you don't want a heavy amount of women on your jury.
Or perhaps Rihanna simply wants to set the record straight. Still, the term "loses it" is a strong one, and some fans argue that media outlets are exaggerating the situation for dramatic effect. Maybe Rihanna's reaction was passionate but measured, yet it's now being blown out of proportion for clicks. There's a huge difference between a heated conversation behind closed doors and a full-blown meltdown, yet the public only gets fragments of information. A single phrase from an unnamed source like "furious" can quickly spiral into headlines about an explosive confrontation. This kind of distortion is common in celebrity reporting, where nuance is often sacrificed for drama. In reality, Rihanna might just be doing what anyone in her position would, expressing frustration over a messy situation. Seeking reassurance about Rocky's well-being. Exploring possible solutions behind the scenes. Interestingly, this trial also rekindles discussions about the complex dynamics within AAP Mob's inner circle, raising new questions about the relationships and loyalties at play.
You're afraid they may never shot a gun. They may have never saw a gun. Now, in this case, where they're saying it was a starter pistol, if there's no experts testifying, which I find hard to believe, but if there's no experts testifying and you got 7 women and 5 men, It could be that those 7 women never fired a weapon. I don't know. Those are questions you got to ask the jury. Maybe the 5 guys never fired a weapon. You're talking about Los Angeles, where the gun laws are much more strict than in the rest of the country. Right. So it could be that no one on that jury ever fired a weapon or ever handled a weapon or ever saw a weapon. What's interesting is I just got a text back from one of my friends at the FBI who is also a qualified firearms expert, because I'm wondering, is there a starter pistol that's semi-automatic? That's the one question in my mind, because I've never seen one. I just got a text from him that says there's not a starter pistol that's semi-automatic, but there is a blank firing look-alike gun that you could use that is semi-automatic. It won't give you 9mm shells, obviously, because it's not meant to fire real projectiles, nor could you ever fire real projectiles from it. But he says there is one that exists, and it is from China. So I stand corrected in regard to whether or not, like I said, the thing that threw me off was that it was a starter pistol. That was the thing that threw me off, because it's not really a starter pistol. It's more for it's like a fake prop gun. Then if the state is not putting forward an expert to say that is not a starter pistol, I am an expert in this area, maybe an FBI agent or something like that. And I can tell you just from looking at this video, they don't make semi-automatic, starter pistols. Right. Then, that obviously, then it's a battle of experts.
Yep. And let's talk about that battle. So the jury heard opening statements. And in the prosecution's opening statement, attorney Paul Przlomy argued that the video evidence is indisputable and it will establish Rocky's role in this altercation.
The second person who you see, who is instantly confrontational with Mr. Efron, is the defendant, Mr. Mayers. You see on the video that Mr. Mayers is immediately aggressive towards Mr. Efron. He's pulling at Mr. Efron's sweatshirt, and he's...
Rocky has long been the face of AAP Mob, admired for his bold style and progressive take on hip-hop. But for fans who once romanticized the group as an unbreakable brotherhood, the reality is setting in. Internal friendships aren't always as solid as they seem. As speculation grows about testimonies from within the group, people are scrutinizing past interactions, old social media posts, and side projects, searching for clues of tension. The core question lingers: how could this happen to such a tight-knit crew? This mirrors a broader public fascination with celebrity circles, where outward camaraderie often masks private disagreements. For Rihanna, who is deeply private about many aspects of her life, the escalation of this trial might feel like a betrayal of trust, not just for Rocky, but for everyone who once believed in the authenticity of these bonds.
Little installation, art installation at this motel, and it was Miguel's party. And we went there, and I kind of just went through rooms, landed on this karaoke room, and I saw Mary J. Blige on, because it was, they had a small list, so I was just fingers crossed they got something in there that I liked.
Rihanna is known for carefully choosing her collaborators and surrounding herself with a close-knit circle of trusted friends who align with her values. If someone close to Rocky is indeed complicating his case, whether due to personal grudges, legal pressure, or a misunderstanding, it challenges the idea that loyalty is ever guaranteed in the entertainment industry. This situation highlights a fundamental truth: public figures, no matter how glamorous their lives appear, are not immune to real-world struggles. Like anyone else, they navigate complicated friendships, business risks, and family tensions. The key difference: their every move is under intense public scrutiny. When Rihanna feels betrayed or Rocky faces legal trouble, it doesn't stay private. Millions take notice, and speculation spreads like wildfire.